Hey,
Why are you messaging me? We're sat next to each other.
I'd feel edgy talking about this even if we lowered our voices.
This?
The inheritance.
You want to talk about that now?
Even if you subtract the taxes, it's $800,000. $800K! I'm so astonished I'm finding it hard to relax.
You have a point.
It came from selling off some land they originally bought for dirt cheap, which exploded in value with the development of a nearby resort. Is what they said, right?
Yeah. Apparently they left almost all the money behind untouched.
It's such a crazy amount, my head feels funny. I know it's a little disrespectful to be discussing this so soon after your dad passed away. But no matter what I do, I can't relax.
Yeah, I'm pretty restless myself as the one who inherited it.
I want to settle down before we arrive home, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But since we are where we are, I thought it'd be better to message you.
Fair enough. Go on.
I'll just come straight out with it. Have you thought about how you're going to use the $800,000?
No, not yet. But I did inherit as part of my dad's will. So I want to avoid spending it lightly.
Yeah, I get that.
At any rate, I think it's best we keep it quiet for now. If we start spending it unwisely and people catch on, it could cause us problems with the figure being as high as it is.
Even from me and Trent?
Yeah, I think so. For now, at least. Mia's in the middle of her high school exams right now, and next year, it'll be Trent's turn. I think we should avoid anything that might shock them. When we do eventually tell them, let's make sure the time is right.
Dad, I know you're in the middle of work, but can you reply?
Huh? Mia?
Is now a good time?
Yeah, I'm on a direct train home from work, so it's fine. What is it?
I'm on the way home from school.
Huh? Shouldn't you be at your after-school club now?
The teacher's advisor had some stuff going on, so today got canceled. But when I decided to stop by the bookstore on one of my changeovers on the way home,
What's up?
I saw Mom flirting with some guy. On the open terrace of some cafe.
What?
I only managed to get the guy from behind, but do you want to see a picture?
Show me, please. This is...
It's hard to tell from the picture, but they had their fingers intertwined and were gazing to each other's eyes while deep in conversation. They kissed too.
I see.
My friend sneaked over and eavesdropped to try and figure out what they were talking about. Something about an inheritance?
The inheritance.
By any chance, is this about Grandpa's inheritance?
Probably. I'm gonna tell you everything soon.
Okay, I understand.
Tell the truth, I did think your mom had been behaving a little strange lately.
To be honest, me too.
Really?
Trent noticed it as well.
What are you playing at, Becky? To think you put your children through this.
I think Mom's gross.
Mia. Well, I get it. I guess that's the last thing a kid wants to see their mom doing. I'm sorry you had to see this side of your parents.
Stop it, Dad, you haven't done anything wrong.
Anyway, thanks for letting me know.
What will you do?
I'm still confused, and it's hard to think straight right now. But I'm pretty sure I need to gather more evidence.
Right.
Don't mention this to anyone for now, okay?
Got it. Dad,
Hmm?
I'm on your side.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Hey, sorry my message is late. I'm gonna stay over at my friend's place again tonight.
Your friend?
The girl I always stay with.
The one you made friends with 6 months back over your shared hobbies?
Yeah, that's her. She was talking to me about some things that were bothering her, but I don't think I'll make the last train now. I'm really sorry this happens so often. Me and doing the housework is such a big help.
Nope, this isn't gonna work with me anymore.
Huh?
You're cheating on me, aren't you?
Wait, what?
You're so careless that not just me, but even the kids noticed. I'm just wondering what the hell you think you're playing at. The private investigator said from the beginning you didn't seem concerned about hiding it.
Wow, you hired a private investigator. Fine, I'm having an affair.
You admitted that awfully easily. Should I interpret this as you being prepared for the divorce?
Well, I guess I did. If we've been found out, then I've got no choice. I'd rather just admit it and get it over with quickly than have it get messy and drag on. Besides, getting divorced involves nothing but positives for me.
You've changed.
Huh?
Actually, I have a feeling there's no merit in this affair for you.
Let's just get it out of the way instead of having it turn chaotic. By the way, the divorce papers are in the drawer of my dresser. I'll come and get my stuff when you're not at the house. So I'll leave when you hand them and up to you. It'd be best if you could get it done this week, though.
I know what you want. You gonna go stay with your lover now?
Yeah, I am. You probably know who he is if you hired a private investigator, right?
Of course.
Well then, I won't go into minute detail, but that is where I'm going. When the compensation and other financial stuff's all been dealt with, give him a call, okay?
Okay.
Bye! Ugh, pick up!
What?
What the hell are you doing? Why do I have to pay compensation? And not just me, but my boyfriend too.
Ah, I see the paperwork arrived.
Ugh, not I see the paperwork arrived. The stuff that's written here. Me and my boyfriend have to pay you compensation? You're not splitting any of your assets? And you won't be paying child support for Mia and Trent? What the hell are you doing?
Is there a problem?
Obviously. First of all, the compensation is paid by the party responsible for the divorce.
You're the one responsible for the divorce.
No, I'm not. What are you saying? It's your fault for not being able to stop my heart from wandering.
Huh?
And the assets. Any assets obtained while married should be split 50-50 in a divorce. To think you try to keep everything to yourself. Aren't you ashamed to call yourself a man?
Even if I wanted to split my assets with you, you spent nearly all the money from our shared savings. There was barely $230 left in the account. Taking the compensation and child support into consideration, there was no way you were going to get any assets.
Huh? $230? Don't talk nonsense. You haven't actually forgotten, have you?
Forgotten what?
The $800,000 you inherited. You inherited it while we were married, so it's subject to asset distribution. Basically, it gets split in half, and $400,000 of it is mine.
By any chance, were you being that brazen with your lover on purpose so you could get your hands on the $400,000 when my assets were split?
Bingo. Divorce can't be initiated by the one having the affair, so I waited for you to do it for me. Ah, now me and him will finally get a fresh start and be happy together.
Just hold on a minute. Are you completely unaware that everything you just said is tragically diluted nonsense?
What? Nonsense?
Compensation for infidelity is paid by the party responsible for the affair to the partner they were unfaithful towards. That's why you and your lover will be the one paying me compensation.
Huh?
Also, and this was something my lawyer told me, but he said that property inherited by a spouse during a marriage isn't subject to asset division in the event of divorce.
No way!
My lawyer's number's in those documents. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him in detail yourself.
Well, what about child support? Surely you'll be paying me child support payments.
I would if you were getting custody of Mia and Trent.
Well, you will then, won't you?
No, I won't.
I'm terribly sorry. But custody of children is always awarded to the mother.
I know that.
Right? Well then, to cover both of them, I want $1,500 per month in child support.
You haven't forgotten how old your kids are, have you?
What does that have to do with anything?
Mia's 16, Trent's 15. They're old enough to decide for themselves who they want to stay with.
Huh? That's a thing?
And FYI, they both said they want to stay with me.
Like hell they did! Children, you know, need their mothers more than their fathers. Not knowing that alone disqualifies you from being a dad. I'll be taking custody of them.
I told you, it's not happening.
Why?
Mia's the one who found out about the affair.
What?
As for Trent, he might not have seen anything directly, but he knew something was off for a long time. Do you really think they'd want to stay with the person responsible for hurting them with their infidelity?
How am I supposed to know that if they don't tell me?
Oh, and they've both blocked all communications from you.
What?
They said they don't want to see your face, and they don't want to talk to you.
No, wait, this can't be!
I think that should tell you how they feel about you.
No way, does this mean I won't get any money at all?
Obviously. In fact, you'll be the one paying.
No, wait!
All of the details are in the documents I sent you. So make sure you read them thoroughly.
Wait!
You can contact me through my lawyer from now on.
No!
Well then, I'll be blocking you now. My wife's affair was with her then-married ex-boyfriend who was in a relationship of 3 years. My wife and her ex were under the false impression that inherited property would be subject to asset distribution. So they shamelessly paraded their affair out in the open. But their plan was so sloppy and ignorant that I was left completely dumbfounded. Our kids were equally as astonished. After dragging their parents into the mess they'd created, they somehow managed to string together the compensation they owed, and I got all of it in a single payment. Her lover also got a divorce, and of course, they had to pay his wife's compensation too. It's said that money drives people crazy. There's something ironic about the two of them ending up in debt hell totaling over $150,000 because they were so obsessed with it. Now they spend their days working crazy hours living in a rundown apartment while constantly trying to shift the blame onto each other. This is all your fault!
Hey Vicky, are you there? Do you have a moment to chat at all, really quick? I just wanted to let you know something if you had a moment to text. Okay, I guess not. So I guess I'll just leave you a message here letting you know that I'm going to be moving back in with my parents. So, anyways, I'm really looking forward to seeing you soon, Rumi. Hope you're as excited as I am.
Wait, what? What are you talking about right now? What is this?
I mean that, well, let's just say that things aren't exactly going super well with my husband, and so... Well, anyways, I just don't really want to be dealing with him right now is all. But anyways, I'm just glad that I'll be coming home to people who understand and are on my side. People like you. Isn't that right?
I'm sorry, Danny. You're going to have to slow down and go over this with me one more time. I mean, is this some kind of joke or something? Or is it just your way of messing with me like you always do? Because I don't know why you think you can just come back here all of a sudden. Don't you remember you saying that you were never ever going to come back here?
I have no idea what you're talking about at all, Vicky. I mean, it's not like you really even have a right to be complaining about me coming home or anything like that. After all, you're living with my parents at their house, remember?
I know exactly whose house I'm living in right now, thank you very much for telling me. But that isn't even what I'm talking about right now. I mean that you were telling me that you're coming to live here with way too little heads up. But it doesn't matter because I also have some big news that I need to tell you. So just make some time to talk to me later today, okay?
Oh, yeah, I would love to talk to you and catch up and all that, but I'm actually just going to be way too busy doing other things.
You mean like going to the casino and coming back home pissed drunk and God knows what time? Because if I recall correctly, that was one of the reasons why you ended up moving out. You said that you were sick of us telling you what to do.
I'm so looking forward to finally moving in with you and Mom and Dad tomorrow. Isn't this exciting, Vicky? Can you believe that we're all going to get to live together just like one big happy family from here on out? It's just so great.
What are you talking about this time? Are you still going on about moving in?
I bet you thought that I had forgotten all about that when you hadn't heard from me for a while, right? Well, don't worry, I haven't forgotten one bit. I'm so sorry for not reaching out sooner. Wait, no, I'm not. I don't really care at all how you are or what you've been up to. But you're probably curious about how I've been, so I'll tell you that I've been doing really, really well. Thank you. I've just been so excited to move in with you and my parents.
Danny, I still have no idea what on earth you were talking about at all. What are you going on about?
Are you playing dumb, or are you actually just that stupid? It's actually the latter, probably, isn't it? Well, don't worry. When I'm there, you're going to smarten up when I make you into my maid. Then you'll have to do whatever I want, and you won't have any choice but to obey me.
Danny, you really have no idea what you were talking about at all. Besides, I thought I already told you that you moving in with your parents and I was not going to work. Don't you realize that none of us want or can handle living with you right now? Why can't you just respect our boundaries about that? I mean, you keep talking about moving in with your parents but you seem to be forgetting about your own brother. Have you even talked to Owen about any of this at all yet?
The only thing I need to talk to Owen about is how he could be doing much, much better than being married to you. But I guess it's a little late to say all that now. It doesn't matter. I'm sure I'll have him wrapped around my finger when I'm home. And then you really will have no choice but to do whatever I say, isn't that right?
Danny, you have been talking out of your butt this entire time. Do you realize that? I mean, do you not think that we can't all see what's going on here? You got divorced and now you're trying to move back in with your parents. It's very obvious to everyone.
You don't know what you're talking about at all, Vicky, and nobody likes a know-it-all like you anyways. But who cares why I'm coming back home? If I miss my parents and want to be with them, then I can come back and live with them if I want.
I'm not saying that you aren't allowed to come back and live with that. I'm just not really sure that living with your parents is what you really want.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? What do you know about what I do and don't want? Do you have any idea just how stressed out I've been over life? You have no idea what I've been going through at all.
Well, I'm very sorry that life isn't feeling very easy for you right now, but that doesn't change the facts on the ground.
The only fact is that I'm getting divorced, and you have no idea the kind of stress that's been putting me through. And the only thing that is going to relieve that stress is moving back in with my family and having you as my servant.
Excuse me? You must know that that's not how this is going to work, right? I mean, you can't actually think I'm going to go along with that, right?
I don't care what you think, because it's not a servant's job to think. Your job is just to do as I say. Get it? And I don't remember even giving you permission to speak, so why don't you shut up until I say otherwise? Because if you don't listen to me, I am going to make sure that you end up on the streets with no one to take care of you. Is that what you want?
I take it from that reaction that you have not said a thing about this to Owen at all.
I don't need to explain myself to every single person that asks. All I'm trying to do is be less stressed in life. Is that really so bad?
Nobody is saying that it's wrong to not want to be stressed. I'm just saying that this is not going to go how you think it is. And I am going to ask you to knock this off a second time. Do you understand me?
And just where did this turn-off attitude come from, huh? You really think you can take me on? Because if it's a fight you want, then I am more than happy to give you one. Let me tell you that. Maybe then at least you'll stop talking back to me and learn how to take orders like a good servant.
Annie, the only person here who has no idea what they are getting themselves into here is you. I can assure you of that. But I am trying to warn you now that none of this is going to go the way you want it to. It's all going to blow up in your face. I'm sure that right now your life is really hard with a lot going on. But you are better off where you are than coming back here.
You really will say anything that comes to your mind to try and keep me from coming back, won't you? Don't you have any shame at all? Don't you realize that you shouldn't mess with me? Don't you know that I could get Owen and you to divorce in a second if I wanted to?
You have to be kidding me with that, right? You don't actually think that you can do that, do you?
Oh, why don't you just wait and see when I get back there, huh? You'll see how obedient of a little brother I really have. And then you'll know to listen to me when I tell you to do something.
Well, then I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but Owen and I actually got a divorce last month.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
Oh, I guess you hadn't heard the news yet, huh? You really don't talk with your brother about anything at all, do you? Yeah, him and I aren't together anymore, and I don't live with him or your parents any longer. So, I'm not living with your parents, and when you kept saying you were going to come and live with me, that just wasn't true.
So then, you two really got a divorce, and you're just telling me this now? Are you kidding me? What's the matter with you?
That's right. I did leave your brother, and it's because I couldn't stand living with him anymore. He was nothing but a leech, and so were your good-for-nothing parents. So if you want to come home and live with them, then fine, but that's not my problem anymore.
But I don't get... What do you mean they were leeches? What were they doing to make you say that? I don't get what you're trying to tell me. Can't you just talk to me straight, please?
The only thing that I have to say to you is that you were going to come here and try and use me to get your stress out. But I was already more than stressed having to live with your brother and your horrible parents. So I know for a fact that you moving in would have pushed everything over the edge. And it's not like I didn't really try with Owen and your parents. But I finally hit the limits of patience and could make myself go no further.
But, I mean, why hasn't anyone told me about this? You'd think it would be pretty handy to know that my own brother got divorced.
I didn't bother telling you because I didn't want anything to do with your brother, you, your parents, or any of your family ever again. And you should also know that I am never going back to live with them again.
But wait, I don't get it. The whole reason why I'm coming back is because I owe my husband money, and I thought I could save some by living with my parents.
Well, if that is what your plan was, then I'm afraid that you never had any hope for that to work in the first place.
What is that supposed to mean? Why wouldn't that have worked? You're saying that I won't be able to save money when I move in with my family?
I'm just telling you now that living with your parents is going to be far more expensive than living on your own ever was.
But how can that be? How could it be more expensive to live at home with my parents? That doesn't make any sense at all. What would some housewife like you know about anything?
Well, first of all, I've had a full-time job since last year, thank you very much. And second of all, up until the divorce, I was the one paying for everything for your family.
What do you mean by that? You can't really be serious about that, right? What is going on here?
Do you even talk to your family at all? How have you not heard any of this? What is the matter with you? But if you must know, your whole family is just awful at saving money, and the only thing they are good at is spending it on useless things. The whole reason I found a job is because your lazy brother quit his job and ordered me to work in his place.
But they can't be doing that. Don't they realize how stupid of a decision it is to have you be their only source of income? Please tell me that you're joking right now. I thought that Owen was working for a nice company and made a good salary, but now you're telling me that they've all just come to rely on you?
That's right. So I'm afraid that if you moved back in with them now, you would just end up taking my place for them instead. Maybe at least then you'll believe me when I tell you about all the horrible things that your family had been putting me through before I left.
You have to be lying to me. There is no way that my whole family would act that way towards you. But more importantly, do you really think that's how they would act towards me? I mean, if they were really all being so horrible to you, I guess I really do understand why you ended up divorcing Owen. Sounds to me like they never even made you feel like part of the family.
And you were going to add on to the stress by trying to use me like some kind of servant. So it's not like you're exactly blameless in all of this as well. But anyways, good luck dealing with all that.
Wait, hold on a second. This can't be right. Why am I even listening to you? I mean, you're divorced from my brother, and now you're just telling me lies about my family to try and turn me against them? I can see what you're doing here, you know. I'm not going to be fooled. But I don't even want to see you coming around my family again. It's obvious that you don't have their best interests at heart, and you were the one using them.
Well, that's fine, because like I said, I don't want anything to do with them ever again. And if you really think that I would ever come back to them anyways, let me double down on that and tell you never to come to me for help. Because I won't be there for you at all.
Oh, please, you think that anyone would ever need you? You're a good-for-nothing, useless housewife, and that's why my brother left you. So just stay away from my family.
I already told you that I don't want anything to do with your family. How many times are we going to repeat the same conversation?
We're going to keep repeating it until, hypothetically, if this was a script being written by an author with a word count, that word count would be satisfied. Hey Vicky, are you there? I was just wondering if you and I could talk over the phone for a little bit, maybe? There are just a couple of things that I want to talk to you about.
Well, whatever they are, you can leave me out of it.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that, Vicky. Please, I'm your ex-sister-in-law. You have to be there for me.
I really don't have to do anything for you at all if I don't feel like it, Danny. In fact, you told me to stay away from your family, and I told you that I wanted nothing to do with you. So I don't even know why I'm even responding.
Please, just answer the phone. It's really, really important. I need your help right now.
I thought I told you that I would never ever help you if you came and asked me. So what do you think this is going to accomplish for you?
It's just that, well, everything you said was really true. About my family, I mean. I really can't believe it. Not only are my parents jobless, but they and my brother all have huge loans that they need to pay off, and they're all expecting me to help them out. At this rate, my savings are only going to last another week here.
Yeah, well, they're your family, so it sounds like more of a you problem, don't you think? Anyways, I've got better things to do right now, so I'm going to go.
Wait, hold on. You can't just leave. What are you talking about? I tell you that you were right, and that's all you have to say to me? Don't you think you're being just a little too cruel right now?
Not really. I think that I don't owe you anything, and I'm reacting exactly how I told you I would. In fact, you're lucky that I'm even still talking to you. Don't you realize who you are to me?
What do you mean by that? What am I to you?
You're my ex-husband's sister. That basically makes you no one to me. So why are you even messaging me? I thought I told you that I didn't want anything to do with your family anymore.
But this is really, really important. Please. We are basically out of money, and I don't know what we're supposed to do. I really, really need your help right now, Vicky.
Look, Danny, we talked about this. We had a long, circular conversation about this, don't you remember? Because if you forget, then let me remind you that I said that I divorced your brother, I moved away from your family, and I would never ever come back to live with them again.
But please, I thought that you would come back and help me if I really needed it. I mean, we're family, right? Isn't that what family is supposed to do when we're in trouble?
And I literally told you that if you came to me to ask for help that I wouldn't do anything. I told you that, don't you remember? So why do you think things would be different now?
Well, because I thought that you would want to help me. I didn't think that you would leave me like this. But that's it. What if you come and live with us instead? How does that sound?
First of all, you and I aren't family, so let's get that straight right now. Second of all, I already said that I'm never ever going back to live with your family, remember? And if you must know, I am loving living by myself. It is gratifying and liberating and so much better than when I was living with Owen and your family. In fact, I hope you all tear each other apart for all that I care. Because like I said, I don't want anything to do with you or your family ever again.
But then, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get out of this mess? I mean, how are any of us supposed to get out of this mess?
Well, let me change the subject really quick. You got divorced with your husband because you cheated on him, right?
How did you figure that one out?
Well, because I've heard you bragging about it before. So it's not surprising that he found out about it. But anyways, I imagine that when you two did get a divorce that he probably sued you for quite a pretty penny. Here you thought you were going to be able to live with your family and save money to pay them all back. But instead you just joined the rest of your debt-ridden family.
Please, Vicky, things weren't supposed to go this way. I didn't think this was how things were going to end up. I need your help. You've got to do something. Please, move back in with us and help us all out. We need you, Vicky.
In the end, I heard that Danny ended up reaching out to every single other person she could think of for help with her problem. And from what I heard, she had burned just about every bridge she had made with anyone who might have been willing to help her under better circumstances. In the end, I think about half of the people that Danny knew ended up blocking her number. She was expecting to move back in with her parents and not have to worry about a thing. She even thought that I was going to be like a personal servant to her. Danny thought she was going to be able to boss me around while she paid for nothing and only had to worry about herself. But things went far, far off from where Danny thought they would. Instead of being taken care of by her family, Danny found that she was forced to be the main breadwinner for her family. It was obvious to everyone, however, that living like that wasn't sustainable. I heard that Danny and her family ended up selling their family home and moving to a much smaller apartment in the city together. I've heard that each of them have started to work as well. I can't imagine they are saving much money with all of their individual debts. But if you ask me, I think this is just what they all deserve. One can hope that if they do manage to get out of this, that they will have at least learned their lesson. As for me, however, I really was enjoying getting to live alone. After spending my entire time married to Owen, taking care of him and both of his parents, to have just some space for myself was just what I needed. Of course, after a while of being divorced, my heart began to wander and I thought about finding someone new. It was actually just around then that I happened to run into my future husband at the grocery store. We were both grabbing the ingredients for the same recipe that we saw on TV, and that was how he ended up asking me on a date with him. After that, things fell into place rather quickly for us. We're already engaged to be married, and I couldn't be happier. It really does just go to show you what a difference having a healthy and supportive network around can make. But it also highlights the importance of being able to take time to be alone and reflect on things.